Hello, and welcome to the Boss Play Gaming Podcast. This is a reflection on every video game story ever. My name is Matthew.
And I'm Ben!
Ooh, spooky. And this is Halloween, except it's not. It was Halloween a while ago.
This is our second attempt at this, because our audio was bad.
Yeah, I messed up the
The
microphone.
audio setting was wrong. That was spooky!
Ooh, spooky. There was ghosts.
If
Sounded like
you,
Ben was actually ghosts.
If you listen to our Ratchet and Clank one, we said we were going to swap them and make this Halloween. We didn't.
No, we said we
We're
might.
recording this after.
This is late Halloween episode. Yeah, okay. So, today we're doing Outlast today. Yeah, I missed that part because the first time we recorded it, we did mention that.
We played Outlast.
Yeah.
The first person holding the camera in an insane asylum spooky game.
Yeah. Well, I gave my take on the recording that we lost, so you know what I'm going to say. So maybe you go first this time.
Again, on the recording we lost, spooky. I didn't like this game, and I mean, if you listen to the Resident Evil episode, you'd know why. I hate horror games. I don't like them. Go away.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, I did say horror is subjective, but in my opinion, horror games aren't as scary as maybe as horror movies or.
Yeah. As a whole, a horror game is at the end of the day, it's a game, so they're not gonna you gotta play the game. You're not gonna be straight up killed mid-game and
Yeah, you're not gonna just die.
Right? There's always a second chance because it's a game.
Yeah.
This game does the thing I hate most about Resident Evil 2 in that you get pursued a lot.
Yeah.
Except you can't fight back.
No. You just have to hide under beds.
And in lockers.
Yeah.
The enemies in this game are stupid.
Yeah,
They're dumb.
I thought they were really dumb in that, if you ran into a room and you ran into a locker, they'd always check the locker next to you, but never the one that you're in. But that's not true. They've checked, sometimes they do check the locker that you're in.
They see you, run into the room.
Yeah.
And then they walk in, they're like, oh, guess he's not here.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yep, see you later.
I mean, to be fair, these are the criminally insane.
This is true. There are a lot of, this game is messed up. This game is weird.
Yeah, I think that's one of the strengths is the story. It has story to it. It's not just there's a murderer, there's an axe murderer that's going to kill you, whatever. There's actual story.
I have issues with the ending. I have a lot of issues with the final sort of act.
Yeah, okay. Well, there is more around it. So there's a DLC.
Yeah,
we didn't play.
I watched a walkthrough on this years and years back. And I must have also watched the DLC walkthrough around that same time, because the whole time when I was playing through this, I was like, "Man, when's this part gonna happen?" Because in the DLC, there's a bloke that's trying to find his perfect wife or something by cutting off the genitals of men to it's real weird. And I was like, man, I wonder when that bloke's gonna rock up. He doesn't.
He's not in it.
He didn't. So, anyway, this game's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the DLC, is both a prequel. It covers the whole
it's
span.
It bookends it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't played it, but I've heard that it's quite clever in that it covers the whole map.
Does it?
It covers the whole map in reverse. You start at the end, and then you end at the start.
That's pretty cool. I did read the synopsis of the of the DLC for this, just to refresh myself. But
I read part of it, and then I was like, I'm probably going to play this, so didn't want to spoil it. But yeah, if you didn't know what we're talking about, and it's been 4 minutes. It's you are a reporter. Mm-hmm. You go to this insane asylum because someone sent you an email that said which is the guy that you play as in the
whistleblower.
Yeah. He sent you an email saying, oh man, there's a bunch of shit going down here. I just swore. God damn it. He didn't say that, but I said that. Yeah. But I said that. And yeah, you need to come. The Murkoff Corp, evil corporation are doing stuff to these inmates.
Yep.
come see. And so you head over there in your Jeep or whatever you've got. You got some sort of car.
Your character is an idiot too. Everyone in this game is stupid. Everyone's a moron. Your character doesn't say a word, which...
No, he has a voice actor.
He makes a lot of grunts and a lot of, yells, but he doesn't say a word. This is one game where, I would advocate for not having a silent protagonist. I think this game would benefit from having your character have a voice. Because you get talked to a lot by different people.
Yeah.
And what, you don't have anything to say?
Yeah, you get talked to, way more than you would expect when you're in an asylum.
With
the inmates.
To be fair, you also, if I was in this situation, which I wouldn't be because I'm not an idiot, I wouldn't shut up. People would be like, "Oh, where are you?" And I'd be like, "Ah,
Well, you probably wouldn't last very long.
No. Well, I wouldn't want to.
just get it over with. Just run at the first dangerous person you see.
Your character pants the entire game. He doesn't shut up. He just makes noises. I hated the game in terms of I hate horror, but as a game, I think it's good.
I thought it was good. Fine. I thought the story was interesting and probably not what you were expecting when it was when you go, oh, you're going into an insane asylum, you sort of just go,
I think, that's where my issues come from. It kind of goes off the rails.
It does go very far, especially in the last act.
Yeah. We'll get there, though.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, we're hoping this one's going to be a bit quicker than normal because it's a pretty short game.
There's nothing.
It's only about 5 hours.
There are no levels per se.
No.
Nothing happens.
Most of the time, not much happens. You just wander.
It's not really. Well, it is. It's a linear game, but there's a lot of breathing room in terms of the map space.
There are parts where you can just sort of wander back and forth, and you don't need to, but you can.
But there aren't a lot of significant moments that you'd say, "Oh, remember when this happened?"
Yeah. There's only a handful of sort of bookmarks that you can go, "Yeah, this is part of something." But most of it is just wandering around the place. You've got your camera with its batteries.
I'll get into that.
The batteries are confusing in that you can hold your camera up recording for an infinite amount of time and use no batteries. But as soon as you turn on your night vision, your batteries are just going down. Yeah.
What are all these batteries laying about everywhere?
Yeah, well, you need...
Why do you reload your camera like it's a gun?
Oh, you do, but you do pull the battery, then just put your clip battery in, I guess. I
like this because the HUD is very, very minimalist. When you don't have your camera up, there's nothing.
There's basically nothing. I made a point of always having my camera up, basically, because there's no reason not to. And you get extra, notes and things. You can only get... He writes... Your character writes journal notes, but you can only write journal notes about stuff that you filmed, because I don't know why.
Does he just stop still to write stuff? Sometimes he gets thrown out a window or something, and then he's like...
I got thrown out a window.
Wow. It's you're just stopping dead still. Don't stop. Don't do anything.
No need to do that. Yeah, I know. The whole point of this is that he's filmed it, so he doesn't need to write down what happened.
You'd think so, but I guess you want.
It's just in a monologue.
You want to feel how you're feeling at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. So things go off the rails. We'll come to all that stuff. I don't know if I have anything else to say on initial thoughts. You basically the mechanic of the game is that you have no weapons, you hide from people, you run away if they chase you.
You can't fight back is the main. That's the main sort of thing.
Which I thought was a sort of newish thing, but it's not really. It's it happened in other games before this. Yeah. So there's talk about amnesia in the history bit. There'll be talk about amnesia, and that's the same type of thing where you can't fight them. You hide, you've got your camera, so you want to conserve your night vision, but you actually do find a fair amount of batteries even if you're not looking very hard, so you usually are okay for seeing in the dark, but
as far as initial thoughts, I think I've covered everything.
Alright, well, stay tuned, we're going to be back for the history section in just a little bit. back to the Pass By Gaming podcast. We are talking about Outlast, and we are talking about history right now. So, Outlast is a first-person survival horror video game developed and published by Red Barrels, which was they were a studio created specifically to make it.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I think that's all. I think that's all they've done right now.
Yeah, I was
apart from Outlast 2 and Outlast 3 announced. Yeah. It was released for Windows on September 4th, 2013, for PlayStation in February 2014, and for Xbox in June 2014.
Xbox always getting shafted.
Yeah. So there's three main sort of co-founders of the studio, which is Philippe Maureen, David Chateauneuf, it's French, sure. And they're all French, and Hugo Dallier. And I think at least 2 out of the 3 of them, and maybe all 3 of them, are working at Ubisoft in 97, 98 sort of times, and they worked on Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed. Some of them moved and worked on Uncharted with Naughty Dog for a bit. And then they were all, or most of them were on some sort of EA game that ended up getting cancelled. So in 2011, they quit that and they went to make their own company. So they were only a 10-person team, so they were a small studio when they made it. They said they wanted more time creating stuff. So they'd actually become quite high up in Ubisoft, a few of the sort of heads, and they were sort of saying that they were stuck more in boardroomy stuff, and let's decide what to do. And they wanted to actually make something themselves rather than, be a decision-making person.
That makes sense.
So they sort of wanted that freedom, and they also wanted the freedom to make a horror game, which Ubisoft weren't really going to make. Because, you can't really put that much resources into making something like that, I guess. It's not as widespread.
Quarantine.
Yeah, but is Rainbow Six Quarantine a horror game, or is it a co-op
action horror?
Action shooter deal that has zombies in it?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't call COD Zombies a horror game, a horror thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They were inspired by Amnesia, as I mentioned in the previous section, Amnesia. Yeah, and I really don't have much about this. When
did this come out?
2013.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it took about 2 years. They said they wanted the story to be unobtrusive, which I guess it is. I mean, if you didn't pick up any notes and you didn't put your camera up, you'd know almost nothing about what's going on. To a point.
Yeah.
You just
if
have
you
the
didn't
people
read
talking
anything, how would that go if you had no knowledge of?
You'd still get the priest plot line because he talks to you all the time, and you'd still get the end because you talk to a guy, but you wouldn't really know why or what's going on or why any of this makes sense, or it'd just sort of be like a random series of events in a row.
Yeah. Whereas
it does all connect. I guess they obviously said it's an unwelcoming game because it's a horror game. Obviously, that's just you can't really make a horror game that welcomes everyone, all players. And this is something that I think they did execute, which is it's a quote that I've got here. It says, "If you would meet Hannibal Lecter on the street, you wouldn't know he's a criminally insane person. That's what we're going for. You're surrounded by patients. Some will ignore you, some will talk to you, and some will try to kill you."
Yeah,
I think especially in the early parts of the game, you just every person you see, you're like, "Oh my god, are you going to try and kill me?"
Yeah, I think as it gets
you start to work it out.
Middle to the end, people are everyone you meet will probably try and kill you because they're very sparse. At the start, you're kind of
there's lots of inmates around. Yeah,
like that wheelchair guy. Ooh.
Yeah, bastard. that's one of the
Bastard.
I actually I accidentally spoiled that bit that I knew I just knew something was going to happen.
I knew it because I saw I'd seen the walkthrough. Yeah. It's still. Yeah.
I can't remember. I think I looked on something about. I don't know. I was looking up how long it is or something. I was on Reddit for some reason. And someone was just the wheelchair guy scares everyone. And then the next thing I saw was a wheelchair guy down the hallway. I was yep, not going this way for a while. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. And they had plans to follow it up immediately, with sequels. So they had all these plans for the DLC and for the sequels and things. Because the sequel The sequel is in many ways completely unrelated, but also the tie-in. It's like Resident Evil, where the tie-in is the corporation. Murkoff is still related.
Okay. Yeah, see, I didn't know what... I know Outlast 2 set in, like, rural US or something.
Yeah, in, like, cornfields and stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
so... okay, I didn't know there was, like, an actual link.
But there is a link between them.
I thought it was more an anthology thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Murkoff's got something to do with that. I don't want to get too far into it. And it was, it was a budget game. It was only $20, I think, US... 5 hours content to play through with the whole thing. There's like, I mean, I played it on normal. There's like...
You wouldn't play more than
3 difficulties, I think, or something.
That's insane, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that would mean you just get one hit. I don't think you could make the enemies better. Like, it'd just be you get one hit rather than multi-hit.
Yeah. Maybe, like, batteries are more scarce.
Yeah,
like,
true, batteries
drains quicker.
There's an achievement for finishing it without reloading your battery.
Such a moron.
Yeah, I mean, so when you run out of night vision with your battery, you still can use your camera, but you're like the amount that it can see with its night vision is like from me to you right now, just across the table.
Maybe?
Like less than a meter.
Yeah.
So you'd have to play the whole game being able to see less than a meter.
Stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I do like the zoom mechanic in the camera, which we didn't really mention too. Like you can peek around the corner and you can like zoom really far and see, is there something down there that would murder me?
As a game, it plays fine, but
yeah, and you got the sort of lean, so you can lean. You can lean on a corner, and they won't see you, so you can sort of peek around and go, "Oh, is there a person?"
The lean is fantastic.
Yeah, that's all I have for sort of the progression of the history. I have for the. Oh, I also have that it was a PlayStation Plus game immediately when it came out. So like Sony had like paid them out or something to like put it, obviously because they need to get the money for it. So basically, they were set in terms of sales because it was given away for free. They had just already got the money. The composer was Samuel Laflamme. Sure. That's how I know how to say that. The voice actors, there was Sean Baichu played Miles, who his entire diet. He doesn't actually have a word.
Did I know that?
Miles Upshur, yeah. That's your name.
I don't think I paid attention to that.
I think it's on the top of the email that you get at the start to Miles Upshur. I know that.
No.
Yeah, his entire voice acting performance is composed entirely of screaming and panting and being in pain. Yeah. But he also played Wrench, who is the guy with the face in Watch Dogs 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And he plays Lion in Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah. So,
what do you know?
We've got Chiwembwe Miller plays Chris Walker, who's the main guy that follows you around and tries to kill you. He's also played Elias Chicane from Deus Ex. I don't know if that's a main role or not. I just put it in.
Let's look.
And I also just wrote Helix ? I'm not sure why I did that. I did these notes a while ago. Yeah, I assume that's the person that he played, but I'm like...
What's the voice actor's name?
Chiwembwe Miller.
Ooh.
Do you want me to spell that?
Oh, I've got it here. Hold on.
Okay. I'll move on to the next person while you do that. Andreas Apergis played Father Martin, and he also played Barnabas in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, who's like the dude that has your ship. He's like, I've played a bit of it, so he's like your second in command on your ship, and you sort of, he's the only one that talks on your ship as you sail around.
Helix TV show. 2014-2015.
I think he was on it, but I guess I just didn't know it was a good show. Maybe that's why I wrote it. Like, I didn't know if people cared about that show. So, he was on that, I guess. And Elisha Kane, I did Google him, but I wasn't sure if he was a main role or not. Anyway, Andreas Apergis, as I said, Barnabas, and he also played Colonel Sanders in X-Men, but I don't know if that was the main role either.
As in, like, KFC?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Damn.
Oh, I don't know. He was some army guy. I don't know if he was relevant or not to X-Men. And the other two, I don't have any like actual people that they were apart from like the person that they were in the game. So Alex Ivanovici was Rick Traeger, the doctor guy.
He's the best actor in the game.
He has like the most lines of pretty much. I mean, he's only in like one scene really. But him and Martin, I guess, have the most. And Marcel Jeannin played Vernica, which is the scientist guy at the end. No spoilers, but scientist guy.
Scientist guy at the end, yeah.
And he only has one cutscene maybe, and then sort of at the end of the game, he talks a little bit. That's about all he has.
Yeah, he says like one sentence at the end, and then like gives you all the exposition in the world so you can understand the game before that. Like,
and like that is literally all that I have on history for this game. I mean, it's reasonably brief. It's a smaller game.
When did you say it was? 2013?
2013.
Yeah,
Amnesia was like 2010.
Say, Amnesia.
I googled that just before we started.
Amnesia would have been a big influence. Another one I was going to say was probably Slender. It might have been influenced by this or vice versa.
Yeah.
Slender came out 2012, so...
Yeah.
Because I remember like this, Outlast, Amnesia, Slender. There are a whole bunch of those sort of horror games that came out like around the same point. Like... I hated that time in humanity's history.
Yeah. Well, we're running super short, so I'm just going to have an anecdote, which is that when I first saw this game and I saw like the green, the green picture that it is at the front, I have no idea why, because I'd read the description of the game, but for some reason, for the longest time, I thought this game was set in the snow.
What?
I don't know, like you're in like a snow base and you have to run outside, and that's maybe it was just because it was called Outlast. I thought it had something to do with survival. I have no idea why.
I have no idea why either.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the grainy green thing sort of made it look maybe like it was Blizzard or something, rather than just being in the dark. But some connection to me made me think that it was like a thing where you have a base and then you have to run outside and it's super dangerous out there and everyone's going to try and kill you and then you have to get back to your base.
I don't know where the hell you pulled this
Exactly, from. I just made up this game. That's why I thought it was interesting.
SCP, that game also came out 2012.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I know that one.
You'd know it.
SCP.
You know the one where like there's like a statue in a room. And if you're not looking at it, it's kind of like a weeping angel. It's kind of like that. Look it up right now.
The Doctor Who thing?
Yeah. It's kind of like... and then the whole concept was you had to click spacebar or something to blink.
Get ready to hear me typing, guys.
Yep. SCP game.
No, I've never seen this before.
That picture, right there.
Wait, this one?
Yeah.
What the hell is it?
Yeah, that's the monster thing.
I've never seen that before in my life.
I don't know. It was based on, like, the whole SCP thing is, like, from, to the best of my knowledge, like a crowd-sourced sort of, like, crowd-written thing where people are like, oh, wow, this monster punches you in the head if your name starts with the letter L or something. Like, they're all...
Oh, you have to, like, write in your name or something.
It was just kind of like a whole bunch of, like, oh, SCP-1052... Oh, this one abducts children, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like a whole bunch of like fan fiction-y sort of stuff. And then someone made a game based on stuff.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, but there we go.
I can't believe you never heard of it.
No, I've never seen that thing before.
Anyway, so all these sort of horror games came out around the same point, which is like...
Has there really been that many horror games since? I mean,
I was going to say, nothing super notable, right?
There's been another Amnesia.
Resi 7?
I think the new Amnesia came out this year.
Resident Evil 7 and this are kind of like...
Yeah.
I mean, the first person thing, but not really much more than that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the developers watched Blair Witch Project and they were like, bro, we could make a game.
Like that. I was going to say, that Blair Witch game came out, but it wasn't really bad.
I don't know. I heard it was alright.
I don't know then.
Blair Witch movie, Quarantine movie, REC, or REC, however you want to call it. All of them are very similar to this, I think.
Yeah, I guess there are a few. I was just now thinking about it. Like, there's a few different sort of horror-y type ones. There's actually one that came out, like, yesterday that I remember seeing on the store.
What was it called?
I can't remember, but it was something maybe with a V or... But it was... you have to, like, go through a house. Like, maybe something like Visage or something like that. You have to go through a house. Let me just Google if that's like... the thing. Visage game.
Look it up after we record this.
Go through
and
a
then,
house.
So here's what we'll do. I'll be like, wow, what was the name of that game you found?
It was Visage. I just Googled it.
That's not as fun.
I was right. It's a spiritual successor to PT, that demo that everyone loves.
Okay. Yeah, PT. Yeah. Whatever happened to it?
It's made by Sad Square Studios.
Oh.
Wasn't the guy that did that like really big? Wasn't it like Kojima or someone? Yeah. And then he just went and did
was it
Death
Kojima?
Stranding or something? It was someone like that.
It was Konami. What?
It was someone like that.
And then something happened. They fell apart, and then Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
right, because PT was going to have Norman Reedus or something, and then Konami was like, go away, Kojima. And
Yeah,
then
it's by Kojima's thing. So Kojima
was like,
went
alright,
and
I'll go make Death Stranding.
completely
And then
unrelated.
we played Death Stranding, and I never finished it.
No, well, I you know what? I don't know why I liked it, but I did. But I
thought
just
it was
got
fine,
bored of
but it was
driving
very
around
weird.
and walking with my packages on my back.
I got up to a part where I was in World War II,
Oh god.
looking for Guillermo del Toro,
Oh yeah.
and Mads Mikkelsen was a soldier, but he had ghost soldier friends.
I did 2 chapters, and it took me like 15 hours or more.
Welcome to the
There's like 14
Death
chapters.
Stranding podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we'll finish it one day for the podcast.
Nope.
So I assume you got to
Anyway.
the second half, right? Because they said like the second half's like it actually just becomes an action game. It's got
Yeah,
nothing to do with delivery anymore.
yeah, you do a bunch of delivery stuff for like 25 hours, and then and that's 2 chapters, and then there's like 14 more chapters, which are so much smaller.
Yeah, so maybe I think I got demoralised by the fact that I'd finished 2 chapters. But I guess I'm like half done. All right. Anyway, let's stop just talking about random
Outlast.
games that came out that are tangentially related to this one, and we'll head off and we'll come back for the main show. We're just trying to extend this one a bit, I think,
because
it's
the
going to be
walkthrough
pretty
is
short. The
gonna be
walkthrough's
like-
not going to be crazy.
There's about
detailed.
5 points we can talk about.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, come
right.
back for walkthrough.
Bye.
You want to know the mistake you're making here, buddy? You think you're gonna find the truth. You think you'll uncover something, and everything will just fall into place. Some grand revelation that'll make sense of all these unspeakable horrors. That'll explain what could drive men to such creative extremes of inhumanity. I hate to be the one to break the bad news. But even when you think you understand what's happening here, you're only gonna be halfway down the rabbit hole. It's always been the case that whoever's holding the money gets to say what the truth is. But then what happens when all the money's gone? When everything is based on debt, on credit? Come on, buddy. You can guess this one. It's faith. Money is a matter of faith. All we were ever trying to do is sell you the dream. But you can't make a deal if you've got nothing to bargain with. You gotta be inside the dream to buy it. You gotta have faith. And that's what I'm here for. To make you believe.
Hello, welcome back to the Past Play Gaming Podcast. This is the Outlast Halloween spooky episode. Ooh.
It's not going to come out till
The 8th.
Early November.
November.
That's the spooky part.
Hey, we were almost like we were 6. It was 6 days one side or 8 days the other side.
Yeah,
and we
I'd
chose
say
eight.
we
We
did-
chose
we
8
did
days
pr-
after
yeah.
because of time.
Pretty well.
All right, let's
We're
do it. Let's
walking
walk
through it.
So you, as I mentioned like a little bit earlier, and you start in your Jeep, auto driving along a road, just pretty chill. And you've got the radio going or something. I think the radio like goes off, which is spooky to start, and you pull up to like the main gate.
Yeah, they say he writes in his notes at some point like, "Oh, there must be a jam or a couple K's out or something."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the first note you have written when
Yeah.
automatically when you start. So you are Miles Upshur. The email was from Waylon Park, who's the whistleblower from the whistleblower DLC. He basically tells you there's corruption, there's unethical behavior at the Mount Massive Asylum in Colorado. So you arrive there, you get to like the front gate house, and obviously it's empty and the gate's shut. So you have to then you start playing. So the actual asylum itself's like a big...
It's huge.
It's pretty stereotypical, I guess, for like old-timey asylum type deal. Like it's an old-style building.
It's no Arkham. but
No. Yeah, it's an old style building, like sort of, like that sort of brownie
Gothic
brick colour,
sort of, yeah.
and big towers and like a cathedral type sort of
They're
points
pulpits.
and things.
Is that what they call them?
Sure.
I think I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. Parapets, you mean? Or no, that's like,
I don't know
those
what
are
a
like
pulpit
walls.
is then.
A pulpit's like, isn't that like something in a church? I don't know. But not on a church.
A raised enclosed platform in a church. So.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right. Anyway, you're there. You start outside, which is the least scary part of the game, which is nice.
The first thing they show you is like there's a bloke in the window, top left.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't think so.
Ah, well, there's a bloke like in the window in the top left or something, and then like you don't see the bloke, you just see his shadow, and then he kind of runs away.
Yeah, I don't think I looked at that.
Yeah.
I was too busy.
Or maybe that's later.
I was too busy just panicking generally.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
So the front yard is all well lit, which is nice for you. You have to like open the gate yourself, but whatever. There's actually an aircraft or something,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna pause this. Yeah, okay, aircraft's gone. We're flying. We were in the bomb shelter for a while, but we came back.
Yeah, we're now recording this. This is our Christmas episode.
It's nice and well lit out the front. You go to the front door, but obviously it's going to be locked. I'd watched a playthrough on a stream, literally up to the point where they go inside the house, and I'd be like, nah, okay, I don't care. I will do it myself. So I knew the door was locked and you had to go around the side. So you have to go around the side entrance. Something does happen when you go through there. Maybe that's where there's a dude in the window.
Oh,
I think when you go through the gate, there's a dude in the window.
That'd be it.
And then that also draws your attention to the fact that's the window that you need to get to.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you sort of climb up some scaffolding because, of course, it's like the building's in disrepair because obviously. And there's like a broken window that you can climb in, and then you're inside the actual thing. And I think immediately they like spook you by the lights going out or something in that first room. Yeah. So this first part, like there's no one actually tries to get you. It's just very psychological. But
yeah, you kind of just
I was like crouch sneaking the whole way.
I think I have my timeline. Is the first jump scare where you open the door and the guy's like, ooh.
Oh yeah, that's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's you have to go through the vents to get to that part. See, so this first bit, there's nothing.
Oh
Okay. It's just a hallway basically, and I just checked every room just to make sure there was no spooks. I think there's the bathroom at the end. Like as you go near it, the door slams shut, and you're like, oh no. But you just ignore it and run.
Ignore it. Yeah.
I think. Oh, is this one where you climb into the vent and then the guy from the bathroom comes in?
I was gonna say, right, like there are no markers. I only know of experiences. I can't place these in a chronological order.
I had like a list. There's a list of like actual sections that the game gives you, like if you want to start from a certain chapter.
Oh, okay.
So I think this first one's admin 1.
Yeah.
So you go through the vents and you fall down into the admin circle top area.
Yes.
And that's the reason you can't go back, right? Because you can't get back out in that vent because it's too high.
Just stack some boxes or something.
Yeah.
Like,
because you go through to the next bit, and again, you open this door, and there's like a corpse, and then there's a room filled with corpses.
this is your first jump scare.
Yeah.
You open a door, and a corpse swings from the rafters. And like, ooh.
Yes. And you obviously like... It's made more panicky by the fact that you panic on camera. Like, the screen panics for you, doesn't it? It's like a short cutscene bit where you can't have control.
I think so. This game does my least favourite thing about horror games, which is... Or horror in general, really. The whole horror genre. Where if there's a jump scare, you gotta give that music sting, mate. You got, like... Boom! Like, you gotta know it's scary, right? You gotta hear that it's scary.
Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is that the guy, the Murkoff Corporation is notoriously evil. Like, it's just accepted that they're evil people and they own this asylum.
And
yet no one's really done anything about it. It's implied in the email and like in his notes that it's completely, everyone knows that they're like evil dicks basically. Yeah. So in that room.
Speaking of evil dicks, we'll get to that.
We'll get some. So you get in. There's like what they're all the like security police guys or sort of things like
the sort of military.
Yeah, they're actually SWAT guys, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
because the SWAT van's out the front.
Oh yeah, there's a SWAT van. Yeah, okay, I forgot about the SWAT van.
Yeah,
but yeah, you do see SWAT guys later. See on the cameras.
You talk to some guy that's been absolutely skewered through his body out his collarbone.
Apparently with his final breath, he tries to tell you to get out.
He waits. He just lays in waiting for someone to rock up. Like, how does he know you're not like an insane person? You're in the dark, right?
Yeah.
What if some insane dude walks up to him and he's like, man, you got to get out. Oh, dude, it's all bad. You got to.
Those insane people.
And then the insane person's like, wow, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's like a tiny shaft of light in that room, and that's about it. Yeah. So he tells you to run, and then I remember like my guy writes, "Oh, I can't go back the way I came," and I was like, I didn't even try. Like,
yeah.
I kept moving. I was like, I have to keep going. It's linear.
It's a game. I know what's happening.
I know I can't leave. So I think nothing else really happens. You progress around the corner, and then you go into sidle through a bookcase, and that's when you first encounter Chris Walker.
Little pig.
So he basically throws you like through the window down to the next spot.
Yeah.
I don't like, and then he's just like, oh, yeah, okay.
He doesn't like follow you. And,
Yeah. She's like, all right, I'll throw you down there now.
This dude kills everyone relentlessly.
Yeah.
Except he just kind of grabs you and chucks you. Doesn't he rip someone's head off later?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember what, but I do think that's true, but I don't know who that would be.
Yeah, I think it... Maybe it's on like footage or something.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. He just throws you through the glass to the lower area. And then you wake up and Father Martin is there.
And who are you, then? I see. Merciful God, you have sent me an apostle. Guard your life, son. You have a calling.
So he, like, I don't know, he just says a bunch of confusing stuff, you know, about plot.
On the topic of Chris Walker, do you learn his name through anything other than like...
Well, you find documents about Chris Walker, and then at some point, you see, I was at the same problem too. At some point, one of your notes is like, oh, Chris Walker keeps following me. And then I'm like, I guess that's him.
Yeah.
I guess that's
like
him then.
He doesn't rock up to you and be like, hey, I'm Chris Walker. You're gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. It was only when, there was at some point, like, it's like halfway through the game where you suddenly write a note being like, I can't get rid of this Chris Walker guy. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's him.
Yeah.
This guy, like, he tells you, I don't know, he does a bunch of stuff. He wanders around and no one... He's so confusing. He wanders around and he sabotages you most of the time, but then he lets you go... Like, he sabotages something and then he lets you go fix it, and then he stops you again. Like,
there is one funny moment in this game. And we'll get to,
we'll get to it. Okay. So he calls you... This one, he calls you the witness. He's like... There's like blood riding around or something. He also calls you his apostle at some point, I think. He's like a religious dude, but...
Yeah.
The witness, I don't know. And then I think he said he turned off the power so that you couldn't get out. But then he leaves you, and your immediate thought is to go turn on the power, obviously.
And then
he doesn't care about that.
Watch him like flip a switch to turn
off
lights
that's him.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what this guy's deal is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like he's subtly sabotaging you, but he has you at his mercy multiple times and doesn't force you to do anything. So I don't know. So this is where you have to go where the wheelchair dude is. So you peek around a corner and you just see a wheelchair dude. And I mean, normally that'd be creepy enough, but I knew something was going to happen. So
the thing is...
I thought he was going to chase me like an enemy, see?
The thing is they fake you out, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, based on every knowledge of horror games any person ever has ever, you're like, oh, I'm going to get jump scared when I walk past this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get pranked. You walk past him, you're like, oh... Guess it's good. And then you faff about for a bit.
You have to do something.
And you got to pass him again, and then he...
Yeah, you got to go past him
and then he gets you.
I mean, I was definitely ready for it that time because I was like, I knew something was going to happen. And so when it didn't happen
I knew
it
it's still what he got me.
Yeah.
Like,
So he just sort of jumps out of the wheelchair and tries to claw at you.
And then you kind of punch him in the face, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then you just run away. There's also a bit here where you go in and there's dudes watching TVs that are just static.
Yeah.
And they're just staring at them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever really explained, is it? What that means?
No, I think they're just...
Why they do that?
I think because they're mentally insane.
Yeah. But it's a thing that happens multiple times throughout the game.
I don't want to get into critiques of the mentally insane, but I think that's just... I think they're just trying to paint a picture here.
Well, yeah, but you also write about it in your journal. This is suspicious. I don't know. I feel like it was connected. There may actually be something to it. That's something with Outlast 2 that I know about. That's a spoiler. So, there's... Yeah, already here I've written that your notes at this point tease that there's more at play than just crazy dudes already, basically. So you have to turn on the power, yeah. So you go to the security room, I think, to unlock the doors or something. And then, you see Father Martin runs and shuts off the power for you. So you have to go down to the basement. Good fun. And then this is one of the first parts where you sort of get chased around in an area.
I like this bit, yeah.
So you go to turn on, there's 2 generators and then the main switch, or maybe even more than that. There's lots of generators.
1,
2, 3, or 4. Anyway, and
3 and then the main button.
Yeah, 3 in the main button. So you turn on the first one and Chris, I assume this is Chris. I thought this was just a random guy at the time. Yeah, this is a random guy, okay. He bursts into the room.
Yeah.
So you sort of have to,
And he says, I think he's like, what does he say? He's like, it's something to do with a cat. He's like, oh, there's no putty tat here. He says something like that. If you can get an audio clip of that.
I'll try and find it.
Yeah.
So this is one of those ones where he'll lurk around and stalk around, and if he sees you, he'll chase you, hunt you down.
Yeah.
I sort of, this is one of the more thrilling parts for me because
thrilling.
Well, because there's two of the rooms where you have to use are right off the edge of the button. So I did the first one, snuck to the second one, turned it on. Then I went to leave, and he found me. And so I literally just legged it out, and I was legging it into a spot that I had no idea where I was going. So, you're just running.
That's this whole game.
I just picked a random corner and just turned, and then I ended up in a room, and I could luckily there was a locker in there to save it. You can slam the doors behind you, and
slam every door. Every door you shut.
Yeah, if you shut a door, you always slam it.
It's always a slam.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. You can open doors stealthily, but you can't close them stealthily.
Yeah, you're sneaking away from someone. You're like, doom, 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 bang.
Yeah, but I mean, so if you slam the door, it takes them 3 hits to get it down, where they can't just open it. It's not like you locked it, you just slammed it. They're just they can't open it, they just beat it down. But yeah, so that buys you time. But yeah, so I was just sort of sprinting left and right, and then you have to sort of, as you do a lot of times, you have to sort of get past someone by sort of, they move forward, you jump into the next room, hide, they go past, and then so you turn on the power. You go in, you're like, haha, game complete, let's go, open the doors, and then you get, again, ambushed by Father Martin.
I'm sorry, my son. I didn't want to have to do this to you. But you can't leave. Not yet. There is so much yet for you to witness. Will you see it? Can you? Our Lord, the Wall Rider, tearing his truth into the unbelievers. The only way out of this place is the truth. Accept the gospel, and all doors will open before you.
So he injects you with some sedative or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he shows you on the screen the SWAT guys bursting in and then them getting killed by the invisible man.
I think that's... No, okay. No, I was thinking that's where you see the blokes taking it ripped off, but no.
Yeah, the SWAT guys run into the room and then it's the invisible force just kills them all.
They ragdoll.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
The highly trained SWAT guys. I mean, they are fighting an invisible man.
I mean, yes, but...
So then, see, again, Father Martin has you at his mercy to do whatever he wants, and he just puts you in a prison with a door unlocked.
I hate this bit.
So this
That's
is
a bit I like.
this is like the second section that they call for you, which is the prison block. So yeah, this one's pretty basic. There's two dudes that you walk past early, and they're like, "Hey, I really want to kill this guy."
And we should do that.
And they're like, "Yeah, well, Father Martin doesn't want us to kill this guy." "Oh yeah, but I think I'm going to kill him later." Like, okay, cool. And they're sort of like minor antagonists for a while.
I think they end up chasing you.
I think they're also in. I don't know if it's them that are in this bit not long after. But so anyway, you proceed through the prison block, and there's a bit where you learn you can vault outside windows and like hang and go around. And so there's a bit where it's really stormy and you're on like a catwalk, and you heading forward and you see that there's a guy walking towards you. Mm-hmm. And I really liked this the first time. I mean, liked. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew there was windows to my side, and at first I thought someone's going to jump in at me, but I saw this guy and I just started backing away, and then without warning, you just get bladed through your gut from behind.
Oh.
You don't get hit, you just get murdered through you immediately killed. And at first I thought, oh, this is a cutscene or something, like this is supposed to happen, because there's guys coming from both ends.
Yeah.
So you have to vault out the window. But I liked how it wasn't just like the guy hits you once.
Yeah.
It's like you actually just get insta-killed, because I was backing
here's
up.
your tutorial. Yeah.
I was backing up towards a dude with a knife, so he just kills me. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, so you have to like vault out the window, sidle along the outside. I mean, at this point, I just risked the drop to get out.
Yeah.
just fall.
Why this dude dude deserves the Pulitzer. Like, he has gone so far to get this scoop. And it's storming outside. He's just shimmying along these ledges.
Yeah.
How does he not fall ever during these shimmies?
I know. So that's the prison block. Like, the prison block's way longer than that, but that's most of what happens. Oh, there's one part where I think you're about to get out and you like do something, and then Chris like bursts in through like a window or something, and in like a control area, and he chases you for a bit.
Oh, is that here?
I think so.
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
it's later. I don't know. There's a lot of bits here where you're going through airlocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So you go into the sewers is the next part. Like, you think the sewers are the way out, but they never... There's no indication of that. You just come up with that idea on your own that the sewers are going to get you out. And then they never do.
This would be the bit I'd just give up. Like, not only am I being chased by maniacs, left, right, and centre, but now I'm waiting around in the sewers.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot think of a worse fate.
Again, I don't understand what his logic was here. Like, he just, out of nowhere, he just writes, oh yeah, I need to go through the sewers to get out. And then, for nothing inspired that logic, he just come up with that idea. So he goes down into the sewers, and then, of course, all that does is lead him back into a different part of the prison. So again, this is basic stuff. You go around, you pull switches. This is mostly what you have to do. You have to go do objectives while there's dudes chasing you. Chris is around
like,
again.
the whole gameplay is sort of just hiding and running. There's no...
Yeah, hiding.
It's not a story
buttons.
game, right? In the sense that, like, you know, Uncharted is a story game, or even
the story slowly builds as you go, but not really, not much.
It's more linear than, say, Outer Wilds.
Oh yeah,
but there's still like nothing bookmarky happens really.
No, I mean, we are coming up to a bit that's sort of more relevant, which is when you get out of the sewers. You go to the mail ward is the next section, and you come to a part where you're getting chased for some reason. Like you trigger some dudes, and you're getting chased, and you run into this like thing, and there's a guy like, "Hey, get in the dumbwaiter. I'll help you out." And he sounds like a nice guy.
He does actually sound like a nice guy. I don't trust this man.
So you get in the dumbwaiter, and you come out, and it's a cutscene, and he's just a crazy doctor guy, and
doesn't wear clothes. He just wears like a doctor
his apron. Yeah, I'll let the cutscene play about now.
You're not one of them, are you? Quick, get in the dumbwaiter if you want to live. God damn it! You did a chase here, buddy. Hey, hear that? priest's guy, aren't you? His witness or whatever. You must be exhausted. No, let's take a break, huh, buddy? The old 2-martini lunch? Have a little confab, blah, blah. Heavier than you look. A little cardio wouldn't kill you. Okay, here we go, arms and legs inside the car at all times. You know, I love the mountain air up here at night. You want to head out and take a stroll? Go ahead, I'll wait here. Go on, run free. I'm in no hurry. No? All right. Nose to the grindstone, I like that. Okay then, right this way. You're putting that tongue to any use anyway. Truth be told, I was just tired of licking my own stance. Here we are, then. Thanks so much for coming by. We'll begin your consultation in a moment. It'll just need a second to wash up and, movies. And it'll give us a chance to talk. You know, I'm a bit worried how much time you've been spending with Father Martin. I hope you haven't been letting him confuse you with all this holier-than-thou Bible thumping. No offense to the man, but I sometimes worry he might just be a little bit crazy. It's understandable when people get scared. There's like to turn to God as anything else. And God died with the gold standard. We're on to a more concrete faith now. You have to rob Paul to pay Peter. There's no other way. Murder in it is the simplest form, but what happens when all money's gone? Well, money becomes a matter of faith. And that's what I'm here for. To make you believe. You paying attention? Don't pass that on me. There's so much for you to absorb. You're better now, right? You understand how we achieved here? We made the consumer into the means of production. This thing is gonna sell itself.
That's the main part. So actually, I don't know how much of that I would have played because it's quite long. So there's a bit he sort of straps you into a wheelchair, and
he's like, "There you go, you can leave."
Yeah, and then he rolls you to a bit where there's a door that's open to the outside, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go?" Off you go, and you're just like, "Oh damn, I'm strapped." And he's like, "Oh okay, I guess let's go." Okay, you don't want to go.
Why can't you walk? Because you just strapped.
He's strapped you into a wheelchair, with the restraints. Oh, yeah. He's restrained you into a wheelchair. So then he's like, okay, you don't want to leave, let's go this way. So he rolls you on, and then for no apparent reason, he just cuts off your fingers.
Does he say? Because I was reading the Wikipedia article after this, just so because I played it and then I was like, all right, I need to know what happened here. So I read the whole article, and it says he's like, oh, he was going to cut off your genitals and something or other.
I'm sure it was. Say that? I don't think so. But he just cut off one finger on each of your hands.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. Man, nah.
So you do, I think there's some point, you're in the doctor bit a little bit before this, you meet him, and there's a bit about him, being starting to go crazy, and...
There's all, documents.
He is actually a doctor person, he's not an inmate.
Yeah.
And he, was experimenting on the patients and stuff, classic crazy stuff. So he leaves, and you somehow get out. I don't know how you get out of the chair. You just
shake back and forward, and then you're free.
I don't know how that would work.
You use right stick, shake back and forward.
Yeah, I know, but how did that get you out of the arm restraints?
I don't know. Have you seen the dude? He's all just sinew, and he probably just tied it on as much as he could.
I don't know. I guess somehow you get out of there, this chair, and then you're sort of wandering around. The dude comes back in and murders some guy for no reason that was just laying in a bed thing that he was already massively wounded. He had his leg up and his arms splayed, And then the guy just comes in and just kills him. And then he goes in to check on you, and he's like, oh, you know, F, the dude's escaped. And so he starts, and so then you got to run, and, you know, you...
Every bad guy in this game, and I think they say it in the documents, everyone looks like they've been autopsied.
Yeah.
Like, they've got the whole Y-shaped cut on their chest, and even their face is the same thing. Like,
yeah. And, all the cuts and the sort of bleeding
I hate it.
bits, So, of course, the elevator doesn't have any power or something, or it doesn't have a key or one of these things, so you have to go around again.
Yeah.
And he's following you. He's the one that's chasing you this time, sort of stalking you. He's got, like, heaps of patients around, too. Like, there's, like, two massive full wards of dudes.
Eventually you get to the elevator.
Yeah, eventually you get the key, you turn on the elevator, he, like, comes to try and get you, and he gets, like, cut in half by the elevator, basically. I mean, it's just him going, blah, most of it, and then...
You then write something in your book, and I don't remember what it is,
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure.
I think it was kind of funny. So I'm going to try and find it quickly in a walkthrough.
So this... You actually get to the bit where you can go outside, then, I think.
After this, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so you get to that door that was going to lead you outside. Yeah. But, of course, it's not actually outside.
It's just like a courtyard.
Yeah,
sort of.
it's just a courtyard that's still within the bounds of the area, so you can't leave. Father Martin's like, you're supposed to be meeting Father Martin or something. He told you to meet him outside at some point during this. He he sort of meets you.
This is before he sends his lackey to come get you. Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of like somehow meets you, or maybe has written a message on the wall or something for some reason that he needs to get you. Oh, I remember why you're getting chased by anyway to get to the Rick Traeger bit, but that's fine. It's just a random thing, but I mean, there's the two dudes that are chasing.
Oh yeah,
that's what. Those two guys. That's actually a good section, by the way. This is before the doctor part, where like you sort of go into a bit. It's one of the few times where you like get sort of surprised into having to run, rather than...
I found the thing.
So you get into a room and then suddenly one of the dudes starts breaking in, sort of thing, and he sees you, and then you have to sort of like run really through a bunch of different doors, slamming doors, running like a path that you hadn't been before. Anyway, tell me about this comedy.
Yes, okay, so after you trap like Traeger, the doctor gets in the elevator and killed. If you're recording with your camera, you'll get this very lovely note. How to make Traeger juice. Step 1, squeeze.
That's it. I didn't record that, I don't think. I guess I walked out of the elevator before I started recording. Oh, God. That's why I didn't get 100% documents, I guess. And, so... Yeah, he tells you to go outside, but he's not outside. Like, he says, meet me outside. So you head outside. And outside sucks, because even with night vision on, you can barely see anywhere.
Yep.
And it's just completely open. It's like, it's not like you have any walls to guide your pathing. So it's like there's tiny flashes of lightning and like a couple of lamps, and that's all you can do.
Kind of, yeah.
So, luckily there's not really anything around here most of the time. There's a bit... So you get through out of the first courtyard and you go under, and you see the... Wall Rider thing, the spook monster, invisible spook monster guy.
Don't you see it a bit earlier?
I think
you see like
you actually see
mist.
Maybe, yeah. I remember after this, you write in your notes like, "I've seen the Wall Rider."
Yeah. Why is it called that?
I don't know, because Germany.
I was going to say, is it German? I'm going to look that up.
Because Germany. You do hear about the Wall Rider before that. Like, it's like people worship it, and they're scared of it, and like whatever. And then there's one bit where you're outside and Chris is out there as well, because why not? And he chases
this
you.
This dude is relentless.
He's
why
just
does
always
he
where
hate
you are. Yeah, just kill some other people.
What have you done?
I don't know. He just really hates you. That puts you in now to the female ward, because you have to go every place in the whole asylum before you can finish.
I don't understand how you can... I mean, I guess, like... It is an insane asylum, right? So, like, they're not going to make it easy to escape.
Yeah, I know. But, like, you manage to escape every section, just into another section, not into the outside. So, yeah, the female ward. This is where you find the theatre, which has, like, a video from Wernicke about, like, his experiments that he's been doing.
Yeah, I just got to that on this walkthrough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the next funny line. But
I thought that this was relevant, but I'm not sure if it ends up being relevant, where it says only a test subject who had witnessed enough horror was capable of activating the engine.
Yes.
Is it called the Morpheus engine, or did I make that up? Is that something else?
No, it does start with M, though.
Maybe I made that up. Morpheus is like the god of
up.
dreams or whatever, so that's what made me think of it.
Is he? I just know him as the Matrix guy.
Oh.
Which makes sense.
I think he's the god of dreams,
yeah.
but yeah, I think that's what it's called. I didn't write that in my notes anywhere, but I think there's like something called the Morpheus engine, and it creates the Wall Rider. But I thought that had something to do with like, because you're witnessing a bunch of horror. I mean, at the end, but I'm not sure if it does.
It's called.
Anyway, so you're in there. For some reason, you have to go up to the theatering part. I don't know why. Chris is there again. He's always
Morphogenic engine.
Yeah, okay. The morphogenic, okay. Yeah, so, again, about this thing, is that relevant to you?
Which bit?
Like, only a test subject who witnessed enough horror was capable of activating the engine. I thought that would have something to do with something at the end, but...
I think, like, that's part of the reason they picked the inmates and, like, mess them up, right?
Yeah, I guess.
What I got from it is they have... Because... No, this isn't my view. This is the view of, like, society. People don't give a shit about the mentally insane, right? So they're like, screw it, we'll do our experiments on them. So they pick them, they mess them up, because if they're all tortured and, like, messed up and beaten and blah, 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 then they'll have the capabilities to activate this engine and summon the Wall Rider.
Yeah, but the Wall Rider is like... I guess the Wall Rider is its own thing.
The Wall Rider is kind of...
the Wall Rider is its own thing, but it inhabits a host.
Yeah. The Wall Rider, also known as the Swarm, is the main antagonist. It is the source of the madness that seems to infect most of the asylum's inhabitants, and the deity of Father Martin's religion and his followers. So, yes. So
you escape the theatre, you escape the female ward somehow... I think, some reason. The way back there was, I missed a note where there's a guy in the kitchen that just burned everything, and he just has like a weird dialogue.
He's like, go out through the kitchen, leave me to burn. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to turn the sprinklers on.
Yeah, that's the only way you can get out. So he's like, go out that way, and you're like, well, I got to turn the sprinklers on to do that. I don't know.
And then you later encounter that guy.
Do you?
Okay. Because he had a weird haircut.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway... Dude's trying to just live his life and die and burn. You're like, nah, mate, screw that. I gotta get out of here. Sorry, pal.
Yeah. So you get out of the female ward in some manner, and you end up back in admin again. But you're on the higher part that you were at the start with when he threw you down. So again, see this, and now finally you've actually found Father Martin after all this stuff. You've been through like 3 different sections, and when he just told you to meet him outside, and you meet him inside because he's not outside, and he keeps like teasing to you like, oh, you'll see the truth or something, you're the witness, you got to witness the stuff, let's come witness it. But he doesn't make it easy for you because you're like, everything's locked and everywhere.
Like,
you got to go all around.
Get me an escort, bro.
Yeah, he's got people that work for him that like tell you like, oh, you got to go this way, guy. You got to go this way, dude. Go get through this thing.
How is it this hard?
Yeah. Oh, I think there's a bit here too, somewhere in this part, where you go for a jump and then you drop your camera down a hole, like 3 floors down.
Is this before the Father Martin? It is, eh?
Yeah, this is before you meet Father. Yeah.
We're getting near the end.
Yeah, I know, we're already near the end.
That's the thing, like... Yeah.
You go for a jump, and the thing starts breaking.
Starts to break. Are you out running? You're running away from...
I think you're in the chase, maybe. Sure. And, you drop your camera, and it falls not only down to the floor, but down through the floor to the next floor.
And then you pull yourself up, but then you, like...
You have to jump. Anyway. Yeah, you can't... It's too dark, so you have to jump down. And then you have to do this bit without night vision, where you have to sort of...
Yeah.
You have to go to a spot and be like, okay, where's the next bit that's actually lit so I can see?
Objective. You can't see without your camera.
Yeah. So you head down into this whole area and you have to go through this whole bit to get your camera back. So you... my notes are really short here. So you go through this whole area. He slowly lures you up and up and up, and you end up in like a dorm area where there's like lots of little rooms.
Well, I mean... Yeah, well, once you drop your camera, you go down and get it.
Yeah.
And then, like, you pick it up, and you hear like rustling from either side of you the whole time, and you pick it up, you turn on your night vision, there's like 4 dudes, and you're like,
Oh yeah, there's dudes immediately on you. Yeah,
I have to cut that, but then you just have to leg it back.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I was thinking there was something there, but I skipped it all in my notes.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, so his place is up this spot, and again, there's more people watching the static TVs up here in the dorm area, and there's all these people that like pray on their beds, like they're all religious dudes of his. And so you go in and you meet Martin properly doing his thing.
Am I ready? You are. We will join the Wall Rider in just a moment. My Job, you alone shall escape the Talva. This is your penultimate act of witness. The promise of the prophets was always freedom from death. And here it is. You will watch and record my death, my resurrection. And together we will be free. You are no longer in any danger. I fixed the elevator. It will take you to freedom. We will all of us be free. Now, my son.
So he just, I don't know, he just kills himself, like...
I don't know why he does that, but this is the funniest part of the game to me. Because after he burns himself, and then you record it, he leaves a note that just says... Well, I mean, the first line is, I can't believe Father Martin just one-upped Jesus Christ himself in ways to die. It's like, you're in this insane asylum and you're feeling the need to be like, oh, that was pretty rough.
That was a good one line. I'll save that one for my stand-up routine. Yeah, so, I mean, he literally just wants you to film him killing himself. I was like, why couldn't we have done this at the beginning? Why couldn't he have just picked you up when you fell through that glass and just said, hey, film this, I'm going to kill myself. So he crucifies himself and burns himself. And then he leaves you a key. He's like, you can use this key to get out. And you're like, sweet, it's finally over.
Let's go.
You get chased by Chris again on the way out. You get to the elevator, you're like, haha, let's go. It's like
ding, ding. You see the exit, you're like, all right, open sesame.
It's like the weirdest. It's like the elevator knows. Like it goes down all the floors. It like opens up on the bottom floor where the door is to leave. It like sits there for a bit. You're like, okay, let's
right,
go.
Go on.
It's
like,
no, we're going down. So you keep going. So you just keep going down, and it just takes you to some weird underground lab that's like completely different.
It's covered in ice. This lab.
Yeah. Oh, there's weird stuff here, right? I'll have to get to it. But so you at this point, you're like writing in your notes like, man, freaking, I hate them so much.
You bastard!
And then, so you're walking through, and you see a door, and through there's like, I got no idea what's going on. It's like a hangar, right? And the doors are slightly open. And it looks like there's a freaking Mars rover there, and it looks like the surface of Mars out the doors.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's just like...
Are we on a different planet now? Like, what happened here?
It is really red, but I think it's just to say, like, hey, you've been in here long enough, it's now sunrise.
But it looks like... But
it is
you're
really
underground, and it looks like the surface of Mars.
Let's have a look.
Like there's a truck in this underground lab.
Based on this walkthrough I'm looking at, the Jesus Christ one-liner is at 2 hours, 8 minutes. This goes for 2 hours 30. So
it took me like 5 hours.
Close,
but that's a quick.
Yeah, I can't imagine like going through that.
I was like, at this point when I saw this Mars thing, I was like, is this whole thing happening on Mars, or like has this whole thing been a dream? Like,
what a twist!
What's happening?
Where is it?
Then, also unexplainedly, considering you had
here, yeah.
Yeah, can you see it? It looks...
Hold up.
It doesn't seem like something you'd need in an underground lab. Yeah, look at...
Yeah.
Like, that does not look like where you were.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, I mean, you're in Colorado, which is, like, super mountainous,
But you went down. You went underground.
Yeah, but I guess you're just, like, further down the mountain or something.
I guess.
Right? Like...
But why do they need all this convoluted way to get in if you can just get in from the outside?
Because then maybe it's hidden. I don't know.
So, yeah, considering you...
Why is the door open?
I don't know. That's what I mean. You could have... Surely someone would have noticed it. You should have started here. Exactly. I mean...
The whistleblower didn't feel the need to be like,
hey, there's an underground lab entrance
bro.
over here. Yeah. So, again, also, logically, you had the key that was the only way to get down here. And somehow, Chris Walker gets down here.
Maybe he went outside.
He went outside.
We figured it out. That's
he left. He went through the secret door. So you get chased by the wall rider, and
yeah, you see it, and you're like,
you see it, but you work out you can only see it with night vision on.
Yeah.
So you leg it, and then you run through like a door. He grabs you, but then he gets killed.
He being Chris Walker.
Chris Walker grabs you, and then the wall rider shoves him into like a fan. Or something. Oh, the wall rider looks like, when you see it looks like just like a black mist person.
It's just...
mist human.
Yeah, like shadow ghost.
Black smoke human, yeah, basically, yeah.
What gets said about Chris Walker when he dies? Is there a funny line?
I don't know if it's funny.
Here he is getting... First sentence. This is the way you die. Ripped to pieces from the inside, watching your marrow scatter on a concrete wall. You've escaped one hell, Chris Walker. God help me, but I somehow hope you don't find another.
Well, look, this guy's good at his job, you know. He's a bit of a wordsmith.
He's something, alright. Bit of an idiot.
He's very poignant in this, like, life or death situation.
He's like, whew, that was pretty rough. Better write about it.
There's a weird smoke demon trying to kill me. Better write about it.
Like, just run away.
So, yeah, you enter a room. This was weird because I felt that this room, I felt like I didn't have to enter this room. I felt like it was a side room, and I walked in and it was the entire plot was there.
Yeah.
So, I guess probably if I kept going, I would have found out that I couldn't go anywhere else. But
oh, yeah, because eventually, after you do this talk, he opens a door in front of you, like when you leave.
Yeah, okay. So you go in there and you meet Vernica.
Try to explain. I know. I am supposed to be dead. No such luck. I am older than sin, but somehow the only one left. Because of Billy. He takes care of me. He may think I'm his father. He certainly loves me, idiot. Do you know what this symbol represents? It warns of a nanohazard. Microscopic machines. Technology we have had for decades but never mastered. Murkoff discovered in my research a workaround. Turning the cells in the human body into nanofactories. It's the natural function of cells to produce molecules, but through psychosomatic direction, we engineered the precise molecules necessary. Mind over body. It was foolish and wrong to think we could control it. To use madmen to make something so strong. You have to stop him to murder Billy. Turn off his life support, his anesthesia. You have to undo what I've done. No one can get out of this place while he lives. You must kill him.
So dude's really old. Is he like... He's unnaturally old,
because he's
right?
a Nazi.
Yeah.
So, assuming, right, he's 20-ish.
He'd have to be
mid-20s in 1940s. So, born 1920-ish.
Yeah. So he'd have to be...
He'd be like 90, yeah.
I think he mentions that Billy or whatever is sustaining him or something.
Oh, maybe. Okay, well, if you listen...
You would have just heard the cutscene, yeah. But I think that's what he says.
Yeah, but I think it's plausible. He's not, like, unnaturally old. right?
Yeah, I
Like,
guess.
Yeah.
But he's in a wheelchair. You know, he's in his own little chamber thing.
Yeah.
And he talks
How's
to
he
you
got
through the glass.
food? How's he got...
Well, the wall rider feeds him.
It brings him like sandwiches or something?
I don't know, I guess. Billy likes him.
Yeah, sure.
So Billy's just some guy that one of the inmates...
Is Billy ever mentioned prideless?
In documents, you find out about Billy. And so he's the host of the Wall Rider, and Wernicke tells you to kill him, even though he's, like, friends with him. I mean, he's not friends with him, but, like, Billy likes him. He doesn't really care, I think. He's just, you know, Nazi scientist.
He's a Nazi, I mean, like...
So, this part is another, like... So, you head down again. This is so far removed from, like, the bit... When you're entering the asylum, you're like...
This is the worst part of it.
In this underground lab, there's this giant orb thing that he's in.
It's not horror anymore. It becomes more of, like, sci-fi.
This is science fiction, yeah.
This is like Wolfenstein territory.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, I don't know. And so you have to, like, run to different spots to, like... You have to shut off the, like, the life
you
support
read something and it's like, you got to take out this and this, and when you've done that, you can then push this. So you go and you, like his fluid system or something, and he's like, man, this is how his lungs work. You go and you, like, turn a valve, and then Wall Rider appears, and you're like,
he chases you to the next spot. And then, like... You have to have your night vision on to be able to see him, but it's also very well lit. So you're like, it's very well lit and it's ice. Yeah. So it's like, you turn it on, you're like, I can't see anything except the Wall Rider. I can see him.
So then you got to go to the second place where you have to go up about 1,000 flights of
10 million stairs. Oh my god!
If this were me, dude. This dude barrels up the stairs too. Doesn't hesitate. Doesn't stop at all. There are so many stairs. You're like. Don't even get me into, like, the specifics of running upstairs, right? Yeah. That's difficult enough it is. But this is just going up like it's a ramp.
Thank God that when you start to go down, the dude grabs you and throws you the whole way down, and somehow you don't die from that.
And then the Wall Rider... Because you got to make a jump at the end.
Yeah.
And you go back to make the jump, and the Wall Rider, like, catches you midair and goes, and then, like, brings you to the ground. Which really, like... Thank you, Wall Rider.
I didn't want to go down those stairs again.
Yeah, no, I'm exhausted.
I mean, down's better than up, but still.
Yeah. But, like, how do you run downstairs? I can't run downstairs.
Yeah, I mean,
you
can't
miss
really
a step,
run.
You're dead.
Yeah. You can sort of speed downstairs, but you can't run.
I guess. Anyway, Wall Rider gets you. Something happened.
You do all three, and you run and you shut off the thing, and it starts to go, but for some reason he survives for like an extra whole minute, so he just beats you up for a minute.
Yeah, you're just watching this Billy bloke, like, die in this... I wish we could, like... I wish this wasn't an audio format, because this is, like... The thing he's in is like it's like a bubble, but
it's like a sphere, but he's weirdly posed in it.
All his limbs are backward, like I don't know, but
it's weird. But he's dying, and the Wall Rider's just beating.
The Wall Rider's like, "Oh my god, I will beat the hell out of you for doing that." And he like beats the crap out of you, and then like puts his hands in your body or something.
Yeah, he's sort of like,
and you're like, uh-oh.
And then he just disappears, and you're like, haha, did it.
Yep, you're like, wow, that was easy. And then you stumble out.
You are like crippled at this point. You can barely walk. You like are limping out. You're
sort
of passing out.
I'm gonna die. They're not gonna make me walk through the whole mansion
to get out. Yeah, well, I knew something was gonna happen. Like you're basically you're stumbling around. You're falling down, and you limp to the end, and the doors. Like not the end. You only live just out of that first area that you're at, and the doors sort of open.
Himmel, you have become the host. Jesus God, what is that thing?
Even seeing this walkthrough years and years ago, I'd forgotten what had happened at this point, and I felt so cheated.
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing ending.
I was like, this might be one of the most disappointing endings, because it's just such a because you get there and you're like, German bloke's there, Wernicke or whatever, and he's got a military army.
He's got
with
another
him.
SWAT team.
You're like, wow, I'm saved. haha, and then you get shot.
And then they just
you're
shoot
like,
you.
"Oh," and then I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then Wernicke's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's got the beast.
Yeah, you bleed out, and like this fades to black, and then you just hear him like, "Oh no, the Wall Rider is inside you," and then you just hear the sounds of him getting murdered.
And
so
it's like,
that's the end. Is
How
that you are now the
disappointing.
War Rider?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the whistleblower thing clears any of this ending up, like, and wraps it
I
up.
think
It seems like nothing was solved.
I read it and it seems to wrap it up pretty well. But I
So
won't
you-
spoil it for you.
Yeah.
If you plan on playing it.
Yeah. All you did was, I mean, all you achieved by entering this place was, I mean, you filmed a bunch of stuff, but I'm assuming that your camera was lost eventually.
If there was like an ultimate cut or something, like a director's cut of the game, right, where like they interspersed the whistleblower parts with this,
Yeah.
started with it, went through this,
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
and
each part
changed,
to
and then
make-
like
yeah.
ended with the whistleblower as opposed to like all of this, all of that. I think it'd be better because like this, it's just like you go through all this, the horror stuff, and then at about the 7/8 mark, they're like, all right, forget anything about horror. We're now sci-fi. So now you're doing Wolfenstein, and then I don't know. I hate the whole sciencey bit at the end.
Yeah, it
Like-
was weird. And then you just die at the end, and then it turns
Yeah.
out that you were... So, like, literally nothing was solved except you killed Chris Walker, and you killed the original War Rider, but then you just became him anyway, so, you know... Nothing was solved in that sense.
I'm gonna look up and see if the ending, like the whistleblower ending, addresses that. But I won't say anything to
Alrighty.
you. I'll just give vague, like.
Alright, well, I've got some reviews to do. So it got an 80 on Metacritic on the PC version, which I think was the one that had the most reviews for it.
Yeah.
Gaming Trends gave it 93. Don't know who Gaming Trends are, but I mean, Gaming Trend, not plural, sorry. Red Barrels have done a fantastic job combining an intensely disquieting setting, a unique visual look, and an incredibly effective camera gimmick to assure that nobody escapes Mount Massive without a few nightmares. Yeah, decent review. On the other hand, it was mostly positive that I looked at, but there were some like pretty bad reviews or like low reviews. So Game Revolution gave it a 60 and said, as a budget Steam release, Outlast offers some cheap thrills for fans of the survival horror genre. Unfortunately, its underwhelming visuals, combined with Red Barrel Games' over-reliance on jump scares ahead of more psychological frights, made my experience with it feel similar to walking through a haunted house. It's scary, but not in a very clever way. I didn't think it was too many jump scares in it. Like,
I just think. I think jump scares are the cheapest form of horror.
yeah, no, definitely.
Like,
But I don't know, were there that many in this?
not really, but they really try and force them onto you. You'll see someone just walk across in the distance and be like, "Boom!"
Yeah, I guess.
Like it's like
I guess I don't class musical jump scares as that much.
But they're like, they're artificially making it scarier, right? I mean, I guess,
but that's
I guess,
part
like,
of horror.
yeah, one
is music.
could argue, yeah. So
Like, if it had no music, would it really be that scary?
I was gonna say, yeah, if there was no music, I think it would be more atmospherically scarier.
I guess. It would be a lot harder because you wouldn't know when you're getting chased by
Yeah,
someone.
yeah. So
I don't know. The music's good to know when someone's looking for you. And then I had a user. There's a user review that gave it 0, and I also had one that
probably
gave
me.
it 10.
yeah, I was probably the 0.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This person played other horror games to compare it to, so
could
well,
be.
I think it was you. So the 10 said, one of the scariest games I've ever played. It brings me back to the good old days of Resident Evil for PlayStation without the ability to defend myself. I didn't know Resident Evil. I thought you had guns in Resident Evil.
So do I.
The only way to survive is to run, run, run. Its realism is the fact that you can't fight back, you can only hide. Do not underestimate the horror in this game. 10. Hitman
Oh
41165
God.
said a lot of things, and
Yeah, he
he's
did.
got bad grammar, but I think that's just he doesn't have spaces after his
Yeah,
full
there's
stops.
a lot of like red squiggly lines.
Read this review before rating. You might change your mind. It's 4 hours long when Amnesia is a whole 8 hours or 9 if you're a completionist. It's around €20 on Steam when you can get Amnesia for 15. Amnesia knows how to build an atmosphere and how to play its cards, while this game only uses jump scares. He liked Amnesia, this guy, apparently. Amnesia's atmosphere was based on the spooky, dark nature of everything, the environments, the noise, jump scares being very few and far away from each other. It's monsters which you have to hide from, which really give you the sensation that you had as a child when the lights went off and you were afraid of monsters getting out of your closet, and the story is just perfect in all details while Outlast is boring. That was a long sentence. Needs revising. Consider revising. Amnesia had gameplay in the form of puzzles which helped you wonder what will be in front of the mysterious locked door, while Outlast only had quick-time events. That is what he has to say. And that,
As
for some reason...
that's, like, seen Amnesia gameplay, I agree.
I guess. But, I mean, his entire review is like, Amnesia's better than it, so therefore it's a 0.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't give it a 0.
I don't think it's a 0, yeah. Well, there you go.
What are you giving this?
Oh, God.
I didn't
think about this at all. I don't know. It was okay. Like, I enjoyed the, like, weird, you know, mystery of, like, oh, what's it actually all about. It didn't really, like, come together as much as I thought it was going to. I don't know. I can give it, like, 7. I don't think I can give it more than 7. I'll give it 6. I didn't love it. I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. And it was short, so I'll give it 6.
I was going to say, mine is 6 out of 10 possible batteries you can hold.
Can you only hold 10? I think I got to 10.
Yeah. So
I think I got up to like 8 at one point and then used a bunch.
I think this is my lowest reviewed game we've done.
Yeah, I think I've given a 6.
I don't know what I gave Shadow of the Colossus, but this is probably my lowest.
Yeah, I think I gave either this or Shadow of Colossus or Halo a 6. I think I only gave Halo a 6 because I don't like Halo.
Yeah, the horror is kind of like, it's kind of cheap. Like, it's nice. It's good horror at times, but other times it's just like, okay, enough with the musical stings. I don't need more. The feeling of getting chased is like, that's good horror. The sort of atmosphere is good, but then they kind of shoot themselves in the foot with the science bit at the end. Yeah. I didn't need that. That whole ending bit sort of irks me a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think as a game it's good, but it really... I can't say I hate the gameplay because I do like walking simulators, like, you know, your Firewatches, your Gone Homes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a walking simulator.
Yeah, it sort of is. It sort of is.
There's not a lot of gameplay other than...
They're just running.
Run, crouch, hide in locker, hide under bed. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing that's... Most walking simulators, you can't actually die. Right? But you can die in this, but like...
Yeah.
That's about the only difference.
Yeah. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Possible batteries you can hold.
Yeah. Did I ever end up actually fully making my point that I made at the start when we didn't record it and I had to re-record? Like, the fact that you... I'll repeat it now in case I didn't. The fact that the longer you play it, like as you progress in, you sort of get used to what the mechanic's going to be and what is and isn't going to happen. You can predict what these people are going to do and who's going to be like a murderer and who's not. And really, there's only like 3 or 4 people that actually are murderers in this game, like that want to kill you.
Yeah.
So, like, most of the other inmates are just trying to be spooky, but they're not going to.
There's a lot of just like people standing behind a door, like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you," or like someone will slam a door, or
yeah.
But none of it's like. I think I'm being too hard on this game, but also like. I'm biased against horror games as it is. Comparing this and Resident Evil is like night and day. I think Resident Evil is leagues above this, despite playing like crap and being ugly as all hell.
Yeah.
But in terms of even horror, that game, I was like way more on edge with that game.
I guess they also like that. They do add a few things as you go with that one. Like, you know, you got the frog people.
There's a
you've
sense
got
of
the
like
weird skittish
gameplay progression, whereas this one's just like, oh look, now you're sidling along like a ledge.
Yeah, it's just I'm being chased by a dude in this area now instead, and I have to go to the next area. Yeah.
The gameplay doesn't evolve. The stuff you're playing in the first 5 minutes, it will play exactly the same in the last 5 minutes. Like,
and I mean, it's a short game. It's not like trying to be an epic. But I think that also, I mean, it comes into part of the rating, I think. Well, yeah. You got anything else?
I think that's about it.
We did a short one for once. I mean, this is still probably, once I add in the cutscenes, it'll run more than an hour and a half, but
Yeah.
that's short for us these days.
Yeah, we gotten good at the long ones.
If you don't like long episodes, enjoy this one. If you do, there's plenty of other long episodes
Yes.
that you can listen to.
But yeah, no, I think that's our Outlast episode.
Yeah,
This will come out
On the 8th, I believe.
November 8th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, soz that we were late for Halloween, but hey,
Hey.
we didn't plan far enough ahead.
We're kind of in like Christmas season now, right? Are there any Christmas games?
Yeah, well, I'd say for the month of December, we should do Christmas games if we can, if they're good.
I'm
going to
look up Christmas games right now.
There's a few games that are set on. Oh, we could do Arkham Origins. Isn't that on Christmas?
It is.
Oh.
But
It's also Arkham Origins. Well, we don't have to. I haven't started playing anything else yet.
why? Oh, I think this is games you should buy at Christmas, because when I look up Christmas games, it has given me Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Call of Duty Modern Warfare,
What's
NBA 2K20.
What's that one with the zombies? It's got D in it.
Dead Rising?
Yeah, that's at Christmas, the 4th one, isn't it?
Yes.
But that's the 4th one as well.
And then it's also like, I don't think that's a real story sort of game.
No, not really.
The best holiday-themed video games to play this Christmas. Super Mario Odyssey Snow Kingdom. Well, we can play the Overwatch Christmas event. Do you want to do
let's review that for a whole episode.
Oh. Alright, let's do the Destiny 2 Christmas event.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Dead Rising 4, Hitman 2 as a Christmas event. Oh, there's a bunch of mobile
There's not really many games set on Christmas, is there?
There really isn't, eh? Arkham Origins, yeah. There's a Saints Row 4 DLC.
We might come out with
There's
something.
nothing here.
We might do like we might do some sort of special thing. This is me just completely coming out with this out of nowhere, but like a special thing where we do a roundup of a bunch of Christmas things that are new this year.
Yeah, that'd make sense.
Bunch of Christmas events that are new this year.
Yep.
Maybe. All right. Well, anyway, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/PassPlayGaming, and Twitter at PassPlayGaming.
Go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube. You can search PassPlayGaming. There's or click on the link in the description, because I'm not sure we get much search optimization.
Let's see what happens if you search Passplay Gaming.
There is another channel called Passplay Gaming that's also, but they haven't posted for like 3 years, so I thought it was fine.
Passplay Gaming.
Maybe we're getting a little bit better now that we post more videos, but I don't know. People don't actually watch them, so
They have 404 subscribers.
Yeah, they haven't posted for ages though.
Hey, smash that like button.
Smash that subscribe button. If you listen to this, subscribe to our YouTube just cause, like.
Yeah, there we go. We'll
play some
next
Just
episode
Cause,
is Just Cause. Yeah.
And apart from that, YouTube, or I guess you can direct message us on one of these things. But like, tell us stuff.
If you enjoyed the
tell us stuff that you like. Tell us stuff that you don't like. Like,
give us critiques. Do you like my reviews?
Yeah. Do you like Ben's system, or do you wish you just be a regular person and review things out of 10?
To be fair, it was
he
out
did.
of 10 this episode.
This episode he did do it out of 10. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. We want to make it as better and what people want to see. So tell your friends about it, and help us out.
Yeah.
Get more people to watch it, listen to it, whatever they do to things.
Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're on everything. Like, you can. I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably know where we are places. But shows.acast.com/PassPlayGaming, I think with dashes between the words, is like the actual home of the site. But there's lots of ways to get to it. You can find us on every podcasting thing that really
We're not
exists.
too hard to find.
No. We're all over the podcasting platforms. So, with that, I've been Matthew.
I've been Ben.
And this has been the Pass Play Gaming Podcast, and we will talk to you again in 2 weeks' time.
Bye.